Good afternoon, everybody. It's 3:30 on Monday, November 30th, the last day of November. Can you believe that tomorrow is December 1st? So, okay, it says I'm live now. So I'm still pressing some button here to make sure that everything is going okay. And let me see, I don't know if anybody's here yet. So let's hold a minute and I'll see. I think I pressed this button a little bit too late. So we'll see. Either that or I don't have a very good connection today. Okay, that's working okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I think it says I'm live. But anyway, I'm going to do this and get going. Today I said I was going to make some quick and easy cards with a punch. And I'm actually going to just use stamps, ink, and paper, and a punch. Let me press this button again and see what's going on here. Okay, well, that's not working. Anyway, the stamp set that I'm going to use is in this holiday catalog, or the August to December mini, and it's on page 12. And it's the gift wrap stamp set and bundle with the punch that goes along with it. It's a good all occasion stamp set. I know it's for holidays. I do hope that it carries over because it could be used for birthdays, anniversaries, any place you put something with a bow. So it's a good stamp set. I'm going to use it for a couple of Christmas cards though. And you know, hopefully it's something that you think that you would like, and you might like to have it in your stash. But just as a reminder here, today I feel like I'm stamping on the fly, as a lot of people say, because I had other things that I was working on. We've had a lot of rain, and I had a little bit of water in my basement, not much. Something I need to get taken care of. So anyway, this is what I'm going to use today. And I hope you'll hang with me for about the next half hour and like what you see. Okay, this is the stamp set. And this is the cute little punch. It also comes with a little center part that you can see here. Let me move that away and take that away. A little center part and a little tag. There's nothing that actually fits in that tag. So I guess maybe you'd have to write something or just make it as a little embellishment. And this is the card that I'm going to make. I'll show it to you first. And the paper that I'm going to focus on, in addition to the Whisper White standard basic cardstock that we have, it excuse me, is where did it go here? Is this one. It's called 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 pack. I do have a lot of it, so this is what my cards are going to be from. That I will go ahead and open this pack. And the designs here are really, they're holiday, but there's plaid, there's trees, plain, some things that could go on beyond the Christmas holiday. So I don't think that any of it will go to waste. And the colors that are in here are basic black, cherry cobbler, Garden Green, Real Red, Shaded Spruce, and Whisper White. And I'm going to focus on the Real Red today and the Cherry Cobbler. So let's put that away. And that, by the way, is on page 31 in here, if you have one of those and you want to look for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I've got some of this already pre-done. So I'm going to use a Whisper White card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I chose this pretty green paper. I love the plaids. And then this is the opposite side of it. So that's going to go down here on the card base with some liquid glue. And I don't know where you live. If you live anywhere around here, we are bracing for a snowstorm. It's not the first snow we've had, but this one is supposed to be kind of a whopper from Lake Effect. We love Lake Erie when we get Lake Effect snow. So it's a winter storm warning. So we've gone beyond the watch mode. And they're saying 8 to 12 inches of snow. So I'm not sure if I can believe that, because so many times where I live in Summit County, it's always the lesser of those inches that they tell us. But nevertheless, if it's bad, it's going to be bad. We'll see. Okay, before I put this on the Cherry Cobbler card mat here, which is, let me measure this. This is about 1/8 of an inch bigger. This is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then this is 3 by 4 that I'm going to stamp on. But because I might make a mistake, let's see what I want to stamp here. Okay, this one is going to be a little bit different than my sample. This one's going to be wrapped especially for you. And I'm going to stamp that in Real Red. Oh, wait a minute. This one was going to be a Very Merry Christmas. I still want to keep that one. Although there's something about this, it should say wishing you a very Merry Christmas, but that's okay. So we're going to stamp that in Real Red. There we go. And one thing I had out here, which I put someplace else, is with the photopolymer stamps, it's good to have a cushion underneath, because there's no cushion on these. And where did that go? Right here. I always put something on top of something else, and next thing I know, I can't find it. So that came out pretty good. If it didn't, I could have turned it over. So now I can put that on my card panel. There we go. And on this one, I'm going to stamp the bow first on here, and then I'm going to stamp another one and punch it out just because it's going to give a little bit different dimension for it. Okay, so since I know I'm going to cover that one up, I didn't stamp it first, but there's a good crisp image. So that's that. Whoop, I guess I do need that again. There we go. Told you, this is like stamping on the fly today. Whatever that means, I'm doing it. Okay, so now I'm ready for the punch. And punches make it so easy. And I know I love having my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but punches are awesome. See, there's the little tag. And this part is something that can go in the center of the bow. Speaking of Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, if you have a catalog, you've probably seen that we have the big machine and we have a mini machine that we've been waiting and waiting to find out when we're going to get it. Well, starting tomorrow, demonstrators can pre-order that fabulous little mini machine. Okay. And then it will be available to customers starting in January 1st, or it might be the 4th or the 5th, whenever the next catalog goes live, and I don't have that in front of me. Let's see, I'm going to use mini dimensionals for the little tails of the bow here. And I'm not going to color this in. I'm going to do that on another project. And just put that over top. And that way, when it lifts up a little bit, since it does have the dimension to it, you see something else underneath. And I kind of like that look when I punch and it just doesn't have the blank space underneath. So basically that's the card. Now on this one, I added some sequins. And these sequins are called sequins for everything, I think, because there are so many of them. And they're back on page 66 in the catalog, right there. And I really like the colors. They just add some sparkle. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the card, and I'll go ahead and add dimensionals to the back of this. Okay, in preparation for, if you can call it preparation for a snowstorm, people get kind of crazy. They run to the store. You never know. I don't know how many people are still working from home, but I know as a retired teacher, I got very excited when we heard snowstorm on the way, because we, along with the students, love snowstorms and snow day as much as anybody else, and would wake up early in the morning to get ready for work and listen to sometimes the radio, but most of the time watch the TV and see if school was going to be canceled. I remember a few times not getting the notice in time and pulling into the parking lot at school and finding out that school had been canceled. So those of us who found ourselves in that same situation ended up going out for breakfast, I think. But it was always fun. But 8 to 12 inches of snow sounds like quite a bit. And I don't think the schools in Akron are in session right now anyway. So let's put some sequins on this one to finish it off. And a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I showed a tip where if you add a little bit of, just little dots of liquid glue to the silicone mat, and then use your take a pick tool, you can kind of kill two birds with one stone and pick up your sequin with the take a pick tool and tap it down into the glue. Doesn't want to stay on my pick tool. There we go. And add that to your card. So I'm going to do some green. There are lots of different ones in here. I want to make sure that I get the actual sequin. Okay, got some, I think we got some glue on the back of that. I've got actually got more than one sequin. Okay, there we go. And put one up here. And let's do, there are some little round cylinder things in here too that I don't want to pick up because they're a little bit lighter color. So we've got a red, a green, and we'll put one down here. There's three. Let's do another green. Okay. For some reason, if there are any comments, they're not showing up on my screen, so I can't really tell if anybody is watching. But if you are, thank you for stopping by. Let's see, where do I want to put this one? Let's put that here, and we have to have an odd number, so let's take one more green one, since that one's already out here. And let's see, we'll put that here by Merry Christmas. I don't really like where that is, but it's going to have glue there, so it's okay. So that finishes that card. One more thing to do. And where's my envelope? Okay, I told you this was craziness today. There we go. Things aren't where they're supposed to be. And we've got a piece of paper. Which color shall I use? I think I'll use the plain, this is Cherry Cobbler, and decorate the envelope. I'm going to open that up, add some glue. That on the envelope flap, and you want to make sure that you get it close to the edges so that the postal machines don't lift it up. And then just take paper snips, snip around there. And your envelope will be ready to go so that whoever gets the card will know that there's something special inside. Okay, there we go. How's that? Okay, that's one. Let me show you a couple of the other cards that I did earlier before I do the last one. And they're okay, and I will mail them. Here's one that I made look like a package, again with the designer paper, tied with love, and I colored in the bow a little bit, and it's just on a plain Whisper White card base. Here's another one that I made look like a package and just says a very Merry Christmas. I think I'm going to look for a stamp that might say wish you, or maybe just write something on there. But anyway, that's that one with garden green. Here's one that is on the whole card base, and I slit up the edge on a diagonal about 3.5 inches, and then folded this back and then stamped there on the white space. Here's one with no stamp on it, or no punch on it, and that's just a piece here and says a very Merry Christmas. And this, I might have to change that out. That's one of the little stamps in the set that didn't come out very well. And then here's another one with a similar design, slit up from the side and folded back on a diagonal. And on this one, I put some little sprigs from the sprig punch and used some of the brushed metallic paper to go on that one. Okay, so let's clean this stamp, because the next one is not going to use one of the big punches here, or it's not going to use the punch actually. So I can put that away. And this is probably my favorite for right now. And this one says Celebrate in Style. I'm going to use a different sentiment for it. With just the bow, there's no punch that goes with this, although those could be fussy cut out. So it's just a very simple card. And let me show you a couple things that I did make it a little bit different. Okay, I don't need that. So let's fold this and give a nice crease with the bone folder. And the card panel is Cherry Cobbler with Whisper White. And the Whisper White is 3 3/4 by 5. And this is just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now I made this one a little bit simpler by pre-doing yes I did. Where did it go? Okay, I've already stamped these 3 bows, and I've colored them with light Cherry Cobbler blend. I love the blends. If you've not used them, they're really something that would be great to add to your repertoire. They're alcohol markers. They do bleed through, so you want to make sure that they are going to have something else underneath them, not on a full card base where it would bleed through when you open it. But what I wanted to show here was, this is just the light Stampin' Blend. So that's why I did that one ahead of time. And let me zoom in. I think you can zoom in on this a little bit more. There we go. And I usually color with the light one first, and then use the dark one to make it pop. And you can see that on this card, how the dark pops a little bit. So that's why I colored this ahead of time, so you didn't have to see me coloring. So I'm just going to go around all of the black lines on here. Now the fact that I colored this, about a half an hour ago, I think, it may not blend quite as well because it's already dried since it's alcohol, but I think you'll get the idea of how that will really offset and make the card pop. The blends come as a bundle. You can only get them together now. So if you get a light, you get a dark. And I believe they're $9. I did not look that up, but I think they're $9. But they're so much fun to color with. And you can see where that is bleeding through. Okay, so this part's almost done, and then I will go back over it with the light and see if it blends a little bit more. So I just love coloring with these. And you can, I think, already see where that really pops up quite a bit with that dark around there. So now I'll just take the light color. They also fit on, the caps fit on very, very tight. You can see that. Where's my camera? There we go. They fit on very tight, and that's so the alcohol does not dry out. And these haven't had a problem with drying out. Yes, if you use them a lot, they will need to be replaced. Because there are certain colors I have, like Old Olive, I use a lot. The Cherry Cobbler, Pool Party, Calypso Coral, those are colors that I personally use a lot. So I have replaced them. So it's like anything like that, it's not going to last forever, but that means that you love it, and when you use it, you're going to love it. Now, on this one, I decided to kick it up a little bit and add, oh good grief, where is everything going today? Where did it go? If you could see my mess, you would not believe it. Well, anyway, I'm going to show you. What I did here was I went around in Pool Party to give it a little shadow. And where did my Pool Party? There it goes. It was in the other box. Okay. That just gives a shadow. See, I think I'll use the brush end. There's a brush and a bullet end. And it, again, makes it pop and stand out. Just go around the edge a little bit and add that. And look at the difference between the top one and the one down here, just by adding that shadow. And that goes real fast. Okay. Now the ink that is used with the Stampin' Blends is Memento Black, because it doesn't bleed. It will not bleed. Okay, so I think I got all that one. And let's go down here. Finish up this one. There we go. And then I save little strips of everything. So this is a strip of metallic, the metallic brushed paper that's always also in the catalog, and that's on page 45. This paper is just beautiful. So I'm just going to put that here to make a little division, and I've got this on my grid paper. This grid paper actually goes with the Stamparatus, and I thought that added a nice little dimension to this. So it's a bit longer than I need. This is why I have so many scraps of paper, because I just can't seem to get rid of scraps. Okay, so the grid paper helps for lots of things. So if I want to make sure that I'm going to get this straight, my paper's on there straight. And I'm going to line this up with one of the grids. And it's a 1/4 inch strip. And that way I can snip this off. I think maybe I need to move that down a little bit. And snip that off. And with this one, I'm going to put Tied with Love, and also stamp it with the Memento ink. Let's make sure I've got a good crisp image, and it needs a little bit more. That's good. Perfect. And now I can put that on my oops, I got a those sequins are kind of like magnets. So that can go on here like this. Get some glue. So the coloring part is easy. Oh, I see some little ink spot that got on there. Let's see if I can get that off. And also glue to go on here. Okay, this is a little bit longer today than usual, so I apologize. Hope you got to stay. I usually try to keep it to about 25 minutes, but this is my on the fly today. And with this one, finish up with an envelope, and I'm going to use the red on this. And almost done. I will have all of these cards that I did today over on my blog at Pat's Stampin' Place. And so you can get more information over there. I would love for you to go there and subscribe to my blog. There's a little place along the side where you can do that. And also like my Facebook page too. And I don't have that up here, but my online shopping store is patmayer.stampinup.net. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I introduced myself today. So I thank you for joining me. If you didn't know me, my name's Pat Mayer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Akron, Ohio. And there we have today's cards. And I hope you enjoyed them. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.